Joe Flacco got knocked from the game by Kiko Alonso. And if you watch it in real time, it looks really bad. You know, the helmet flies off. You see that Flacco is stunned. He even raises his finger up as if to say, check, please. I need to get out of this restaurant. He's got his bell rung. Then there's a skirmish on the field. But as I'm watching it, now, granted, we get the benefit of replay. If this is college, that's targeting. Alonso is probably thrown out of the game. But Kiko Alonso is running full speed. And when you're running full speed and the quarterback goes down, it's a late slide. So I'm going to put some of the blame on Flacco for a late slide. Is it a unnecessary roughness penalty? Yes, it is. But I don't put all the blame on Kiko Alonso. It looks bad. If Flacco bounces right back up, how do you react? But the fact that he got his bell rung, he's not sure where he is, and he's bleeding from his ear, and he lost his helmet. Now, all of a sudden, it's even worse. It's a bad hit. It's an unnecessary roughness penalty. But I don't look at that as I'm going to throw him out of the game. Flacco doesn't slide. He slides late, and he slides off to the side. And Alonso is going full speed. And it's shoulder to helmet. You know, it's a penalty, of course. But I don't put all of this on Alonso going headhunting here. I have to put some of the blame there on Joe Flacco. Yes, Eden.
He has to do a better job of protecting himself. He can't. It was an awkward slide that was almost on his knees anyway. Yep. And he slid more to the side very, very late. He has to be better in that moment.
I've seen him before where he doesn't do well at sliding. And with his lack of mobility, he needs to slide sooner than someone like Russell Wilson. And that's the problem I have with it. He did not get down quick enough like you're supposed to. They're both going for the 10-yard line, the first down marker. Now, that's a factor here that Flacco's trying to stay up as long as he can. And Alonso is going just for the point where he knows he's got to stop Flacco. Yeah, Paul.
I was wondering that if Kiko Alonso knows where the first down line is, you assume, and he thinks Flacco may not be sliding in this instance because he's trying to get a first down. And that plays into him staying with the tackle a beat longer than he would have if it was like 3rd and 20 and it was a 5-yard run and slide. He may have said, like, this guy's going for it. And so I'm going low on a 6'6" guy.
And I wanted to know the reaction of guys on the Ravens. Because everybody else around the league, everybody looked at this the same way and said, oh, he should be kicked out. And if you're not kicked out for that, you know, what do you have to do to get kicked out? Eric Weddle, the defensive back for the Ravens, said, I'm not going to say if it is or isn't a dirty play. Now, he's a defensive back. I think what Weddle is saying is that's the reality of this. If the defensive players are all looking at this and they were being honest, they would say it's not a dirty play. It's an unfortunate play, and there's a big difference in that. But I put some of the blame on Joe Flacco here, that he slid late, slid to the side, and Alonso is going. They teach you, defensive players are taught to go at the head at the slide, so you then can go over the player if you need to. If Flacco doesn't get down in time, you want to make sure that you're going to hit him. But if he does go down and you go at the head or the upper body, you can go over him and protect him. Yeah, Paulie.
How do you compare a play like this where it's a 6'6" guy going low and putting his head in that area, and Kiko Alonso, he's going very low. He's not head hunting in the sense like, remember when Cam Newton played the Broncos last year and he was in the pocket and he was engaged and a guy launched himself towards Cam's jaw? To me, that seems like intentional.
No, that was.
And this seems much less intentional, if that could be used.
I don't think he was going after him. But I think in the moment, it's real speed. We look at it in slow motion, different angles, and you're going, man, that's a cheap shot there. I don't think Kiko Alonso is known as a cheap shot artist. John Harbaugh got in his face, and I think Alonso is saying, look, you know what? It's a football play. But I wanted to hear what the Raven defensive players said, and I learned more from what Eric Weddle said than I did an offensive player. Yeah, Fritzy.
I don't know. To me, it just, and again, in the moment, you have a split second to decide. It did not look like some kind of incidental contact between his shoulder and his helmet. It looked like he drove his shoulder into Flacco's head.
Well, Flacco slid late, though. Yeah, see.
But that's slow motion does that. You know, when you're watching it in super slow motion and you see his shoulder turn right into his head in real time, that's not really how it happened at all. It was a pretty normal tackle.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.